Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting news to go and cover on over it as of today, when it does come with, well, just a lot of really big stuff. When it comes to more leaked emails, we actually had some big Xbox drama between the two. We also have even more big news when it comes to just our overall details when it comes to games, CD Projekt Red, EA games, new Iron Man games, and everything else in between. But I really want to go talk about this kind of crazy Xbox news, because it does seem like there is actually a lot of internal, well, drama when it comes to people, when it comes to like these releases, their comments, not getting approvals, and everything else in between. And I kind of want to go and talk about it because it's just such a crazy conversation. So if you guys will stay tuned, relax, and enjoy, there's a lot of news that keeps on coming out. So if you guys have been enjoying this, as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. Follow the Amazon links for the consoles too as well. And just obviously, just thank you guys. Give me your thoughts and comments down below. So first and foremost, we're now seeing even more big messages too as well, where we're now kind of seeing like an internal debate when it comes to Xbox. Now, if you guys do or do not know, Xbox had a lot of big details that came out. Number one is that they were basically going and trying their best to, well, somewhat buy a lot of more various companies than we'd all kind of expected. A big example is they had a big thing stating over here where we had email leaks stating that they said, I am writing to request strategy approval to approach Sega, Sammy, in regard to potential acquisitions of, say, like Sega gaming studios, so things like Sonic, etc. But as well, they also had a lot of other various games too as well, where they had a really big final watch list of all the various games, and also had a lot of interest when it comes to various companies. So a good example was Thunderful, or SteamWorld and the Gunk, Supergiant Games, which is Hades, which did also have a Game Pass deal, and as well as also Game of the Year. We had Nitronic 2 as well for Pokemon Go, which is also even more intriguing, because in theory that would be either a mobile game department to go develop more actual games, just make actual proper mobile games that sell well, or do like a Halo in real life type situation similar to like Pokemon Go, or as well even just try to buy it from Nintendo. Not sure if Nintendo would ever want to go and cut ties with that partnership and deal. We'd have to see. We also play things like Playtrix with Fishdom and Gardenscapes, Zynga for Farmville and other various mobile games, Bungie for Destiny as we covered in prior video, IO Interactive for Hitman, James Bond IPs, and Scully for Monopoly Go, and a few other various games too as well. So it's kind of a big drama that happened before, because we saw this stuff kind of pop on in, and they basically wanted to try their best to get some other big acquisitions. But one of the bigger things after all this big acquisition email leak was even more different email leaks that came out too in regards to what they publicly said in regards to PlayStation, in regards to comments, in regards to everything else. Very intriguing to go and see out for this one. So first and foremost, we had this email we hear from Pete Hines, also to Redacted, and as well to Phil Spencer, and also Redacted, with an external Xbox blog post. And this is also right after they had this actual public post pop over here on February 10th, as of earlier on, like as of last year, stating, was surprised to see and read the blurb below. Bold emphasis is mine in yesterday's Xbox blog post. So basically kind of starting off kind of juicy. To be clear, Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreement with Activision. And we have committed to Sony that we will make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future, so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. We are also interested in taking similar steps to support Nintendo's successful platform. We believe this is the right thing for the industry, for gamers, and for our business too as well. So kind of intriguing to know that as of they made this kind of public statement, because a lot of folks keep on going and like diverting to this 10-year deal, or them trying to work with NVIDIA and Nintendo to make these deals like good, like a proper good deal. As we kind of sit here, we're thinking like, hey, it's a cool idea in theory, like we like this, I guess, like it's better than nothing, or at least for PlayStation, better than like a 3-year deal, and like the contract just ending. But it kind of seems like there's actually a lot of internal controversy when it comes to Xbox. They say, I understand that there is likely nuance here, but at its core, it's being read as the opposite of what happened with us, as I mentioned in this article covering the blog post. It kind of goes in stems into like more of like a Bethesda, Starfield type drama, because in theory, Bethesda's basically trying to be like, hey, yo, we want to make sure these games are set. We want to make sure we're good. We want to make sure, say, Starfield is an Xbox or Game Pass exclusive game. And they go and mention this over here too as well, where they're like, hey, like I understand like the nuance of you guys kind of still swinging some PlayStation and everything else, but why is it when you guys did my company, such as all of this, so this is different from how Microsoft approached acquiring ZeniMax Media, parent company of Bethesda Softworks, while Microsoft is seeing through any contractual obligations for time exclusives such as Deathloop as well and Ghostwire Tokyo, future Bethesda titles like Starfield are exclusive to Xbox and PC, or more specifically, platforms where Game Pass exists. And I also want to say this too as well. So I want to make sure I understand how I think about the above when speaking to devs and employees who ask, as well as for Todd, myself, and anyone else who might get asked about it in interviews from Pete Hines, the SVP of Global Marketing Communications from Bethesda Softworks. So basically this is them trying to be like, hey, yo, like you guys are going on these public statements. You're not really keeping us in the loop. You're kind of almost making us look bad as a company, or maybe even Xbox too. Because right now the big drama is that they're using the Bethesda acquisition as like a it's like striking horse of how to go and position and how they're going to make different games, how they're going to release different games, how they're going to do it with Game Pass and everything else in between. And they're kind of concerned because they're Bethesda and they're going to have people in interviews being like, hey, yo, why is Call of Duty able to be played on PlayStation, but all your Starfield games or your Fallout or your Skyrims or whatever it might be, why can we only play those on Xbox? Are you guys just scummy? Do you guys not care about your fans who help build your business and company and all of that? Which are kind of, sometimes people do hit the more hard-hitting questions when it comes to journalism and everything else, and it's kind of made a lot of folks, well, concerned. Especially if you feel like you're the global marketing communications guy because you want to know what's going on. You want to sit here and be like, bro, why are you making this statement? Or if we're going to be affecting our game, you should probably maybe have all the executives of your big Xbox studios at least being in the loop beforehand, like a week or so to kind of give their thoughts, feedback, or maybe have a look through their Xbox blog posts before them. Because those Xbox blog posts, I'm sure you guys have heard even now, has been all over the place with people mentioning this 10-year deal and them trying to go make Sony kind of open-ended, and as well going to be a really big point in the legal argument too as well. They also did another comment too right afterwards saying, I'm confused. Is the below not the opposite of what we just were asked/told to do with our own titles? What's the difference? Emphasis in bold is mine from this blog post yesterday. And I was going to say over here too, to be clear, Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation through the term of any existing agreement with Activision. And we have to committed to Sony that we will also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. We are also interested in taking similar steps to support Nintendo's successful platform. We believe in this right over here too as well. And this is where it kind of gets like the sassy, like this is like corporate sassy right here. Did anyone at Xbox think about giving us a heads up on this? You get that in a corporate email, you're probably getting someone pretty upset, but trying to be like tongue between the cheek. Todd's going to DICE in a couple weeks. You don't think a journal might find him and press him on why the below is okay for COD or any other Activision Blizzard games, but not TES or Starfield, or any at every future interview he does? And then like, that's it. He's just like, yo, are you dumb? I'm confused. Why did you put this statement out here? You're making our company look bad. You're making us have to go and deal with this. You have Todd Howard out in public, and you have random people asking or doing interview questions or hitting hard at like questions. In this first place, it almost somewhat kind of devalues Bethesda, because although it might be an Xbox decision, because Xbox is the company that made them or bought them at this point, think about what they got sold in the future, or what if they're trying to go independent again, or whatever it might be for their Bethesda company, or you have like an outside investor trying to buy out Bethesda. That kind of rubs them bad, because they're basically saying like, hey, Sony fans, we don't care about you. We're Bethesda. We're on Xbox now. Who cares? First, they're trying to go play between for like Activision. Although it does make sense too for the legality, because it has been a big legal notice. So I do think at the end of the day, the Xbox comment was correct, because a lot of these regulators have been being like, oh, well, what about antitrust or monopoly issues? But even then, it does seem like Bethesda's pretty well upset at the end of the day. Now, kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below. Some kind of intriguing stuff over here too as well for CD Projekt Red, saying, and with the upcoming DLC coming out soon, that they need to go and fix the relationship with their players. The Cyberpunk developer on the game's disastrous launch, the new expansion, and changes within the studio. So basically over here, we've had a lot more comments stating over here that after all these big kind of Cyberpunk issues, they had a lot of good success with Witcher 3 and the TV shows and everything else, that they're still pretty sad about the whole, well, Cyberpunk issues. It's been almost nearly 3 years since then for the Cyberpunk issues now, and a lot of folks are saying the game is good, and with the upcoming big DLC coming out as well, they do want to do a little bit more of a revamp. They want to have the more DLC, they want to make the game even better, which kind of does fit the Witcher vibe, but still kind of crazy to go and see on this one, because they want to go work on Cyberpunk and make a great game, but also make a lot of things on the expansion and make the game itself better, and just trying to be able to go make it the game like how they should go be too as well. It's kind of crazy to go and see this one, because a lot of folks are even saying they weren't even happy with how Cyberpunk came out. I thought the game was still good, but it really needed more time in the oven too as well. But at least they have a lot of these kind of commitments stating that they want to make sure that Cyberpunk in the future is going to be an actually better game too as well. Because even the first reviews were good, and I liked my first impressions, but after that, it did get a little bit worse over time. Now, there's also a little bit of an EA game too as well that's coming out soon in the near future, confirming that it will be on the Unreal Engine 5, which is very nice to go and see. We do like the idea of, well, brand new games and vibes and everything else in between. And apparently there's already been some play testing too as well, so very fun one to go and see on this one. So yeah, kind of cool. We had to know just more games are coming. And as well, the Dragon Quest development is also sadly facing some difficulties because they want to go hit more of the adult audiences rather than the child community. So interesting to see on this one. So give me your thoughts and comments, especially on the big drama on the Xbox side. We'll have some more videos all throughout today, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We have the Amazon links too as well. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching in the first place.